Hello, my friends. Let's talk about a strange and modern paradox. We are living in an era of unprecedented comfort, convenience, and material abundance. We have access to more entertainment, more information, and more physical comforts than any generation in human history. By all external measures, we should be the happiest people who have ever lived. Yet, for so many of us, something feels off. There is a quiet hum of anxiety, a feeling of being constantly distracted and vaguely dissatisfied. We chase happiness through the next promotion, the next purchase, the next vacation, believing that once we acquire that one thing, we will finally arrive at a state of lasting contentment. But that feeling, if it comes at all, is fleeting, and we are left once again searching for the next fix. What if we have been looking for happiness in all the wrong places? What if happiness is not a grand prize to be won, but a quiet muscle to be exercised every single day? The exciting news is that in the last 2 decades, researchers in neuroscience and positive psychology have begun to reverse engineer the state of human flourishing. They have discovered that there are a handful of small, consistent, daily actions that can literally rewire your brain, change your hormonal balance, and systematically cultivate a genuine sense of well-being. Today, we are going to explore 5 of the most powerful of these science-backed habits. To see how these work, let's follow the story of a woman named Emily. Emily has a good life on paper, but she feels stuck in that gray, monotonous world we just saw. She feels a constant low-level dissatisfaction and decides to try a new experiment, integrating 5 new habits into her life. Habit number 1, the gratitude ritual. The first habit seems almost too simple, but the science behind it is incredibly robust. Our brains have what's known as a negativity bias. For evolutionary reasons, we are hardwired to be like Velcro for bad experiences and Teflon for good ones. This helped our ancestors survive by being hyper-aware of threats. But in the modern world, it leaves us constantly scanning for what's wrong. Gratitude is the conscious, deliberate practice of overriding this faulty programming. Emily decides to start her day not by grabbing her phone, but by grabbing a simple notebook. Before the chaos of emails and news can infect her mind, she writes down 3 specific things she is genuinely grateful for. Not just my family, but the way my daughter laughed at breakfast yesterday. Not just my home, but the feeling of the warm morning sun coming through my kitchen window. At first, it feels silly and forced, but after about a week, she notices a profound shift. She is starting her day from a place of sufficiency, not a place of lack. This simple 3-minute ritual is retraining her brain to scan the world for what is good, not just what is threatening. This is her foundation. Habit number 2, the daily movement mandate. The second habit is based on a simple truth. Your mind and your body are not separate entities. They are one interconnected system. Our bodies were designed for movement. A sedentary life creates a state of stagnation, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Emily hates the gym. The thought of it fills her with dread. So instead of forcing herself into a routine she knows she will quit, she commits to something smaller. A 20-minute walk every single day at lunchtime, rain or shine. She makes one rule: no phone allowed. As she walks, something remarkable happens. The walk itself is pleasant, but the real magic is what happens afterwards. The afternoon brain fog that used to plague her begins to lift. She feels more creative, more focused. This is not just in her head. The physical movement is releasing a cascade of neurochemicals like endorphins and boosting a crucial protein called BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is like fertilizer for her brain cells. She is literally creating a better mood and a better brain with every step. 1. Happier life, according to science. Habit number 3, the morning sunlight signal. This next habit is one of the most powerful and overlooked levers for our well-being. Our bodies run on an internal 24-hour clock called the circadian rhythm, and the master switch for this clock is in our eyes. Getting 10 to 15 minutes of direct sunlight shortly after waking up is one of the most powerful signals you can send to your entire biological system. Emily decides to combine this habit with her first one. She takes her coffee and her gratitude journal and sits on her small balcony for the first 15 minutes of her day. The photons from the morning sun hit the receptors in her eyes, sending a powerful signal to her brain. This signal does two things. It triggers the healthy release of cortisol to promote wakefulness and focus throughout the day, and it starts the timer for the proper release of melatonin later that night, ensuring deep, restorative sleep. After a week of this sunlight ritual, Emily notices she isn't just more alert in the morning, she is falling asleep more easily and waking up feeling more refreshed than she has in years. She is working with her biology, not against it. 1. Habit number 4. The act of service. Our modern world can often feel isolating, trapping us in our own heads, obsessing over our own worries and anxieties. The science is clear. One of the fastest ways out of your own head is to do something for someone else. Performing a small, deliberate act of kindness shifts our focus outward and activates the reward centers of the brain in a way that is more profound and lasting than receiving a gift yourself. Emily commits to doing one small, helpful thing each day that is not part of her job description. On Monday, she sends a detailed, thoughtful email to her colleague's boss, praising the colleague for her excellent work on a recent project. On Tuesday, waiting in line for a coffee, she pays for the order of the busy-looking stranger behind her. On Wednesday, she takes 5 minutes to leave a glowing review for a small local business she loves. She discovers that this single 5-minute action often becomes the highlight of her day. It provides a warm feeling of connection and purpose that lingers for hours, a far more potent and sustainable source of joy than any passive entertainment. 1. Habit number 5. The flow. Anchor. The final habit is about building self-esteem from the inside out. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi identified a state he calls flow, the experience of being completely absorbed in a single task that is challenging but manageable. In flow, our sense of self disappears, time melts away, and we feel a deep sense of competence and engagement. Emily realizes that her life is full of passive consumption, but very little active, skillful engagement. She remembers that she used to love to draw, but now feels she never has time. She decides to reclaim this. She schedules just 30 minutes, 3 times a week, to sit with a sketchbook. There is no goal, no pressure to create a masterpiece. The only goal is the process itself. During these 30-minute sessions, her anxieties about work and life completely vanish. There is only the pencil and the paper. She feels skilled, competent, and in control. This flow anchor becomes a source of deep, earned satisfaction. It's a reminder that she is not just a consumer of the world, but a creator within it. These are the 5 habits: gratitude, movement, sunlight, service, and flow. None of them are drastic. None require a massive life overhaul, but that is where their power lies. Like compound interest, the effects of these small daily practices accumulate over time, leading to a remarkable transformation. Emily's world begins to change. The gray starts to fade, replaced by a quiet, resilient, and authentic sense of well-being. Her happiness is no longer a fragile thing she is chasing outside of herself. It is a strong, stable structure she is building from within, one small, science-backed habit at a time. You are the architect of your own mind. I want you to think about this. Which one of these 5 habits could you most easily integrate into your life, starting tomorrow? Just one. Share your choice in the comments below. If this has given you a new, more practical blueprint for building a happier life, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell. We are dedicated to providing you with the science-backed tools to master your life. And as your next step, I highly recommend you watch our video on the Feynman technique, how to learn anything deeply, to master the skill of learning that will support your journey of growth. Click the link on your screen now. Thank you for watching.